Welcome. Streaming live on the path to going clear, as that's mostly the things we talk about on help to transmute energies, clearing energy, power of the mind, all that cool stuff. So my name is Michael Grady. I'm with Lotus Dawn.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Woo!
Excited to be here. It's interesting. We've been hanging out for the last couple hours, and as soon as you hit live, man, it's like the adrenaline starts flowing.
It does.
Right?
Yeah, it's exciting.
It is exciting. So tonight is a full moon, and we like to do these broadcasts during the full moon as the energy is really heightened, as we talk about as the full moon. This is when we know it's documented that there's more hospital visits, there's more blood that is on the surface of your skin. Women's cycles are influenced by it, right? Mm-hmm. And a whole host of different stats that we can look up and prove that, hey, during the full moon, stuff really comes up.
Oh, definitely.
So the reason why we are interested in that is because able to clear things and able to make a shift, which if you've seen our workshops and you've seen our results, you know, it's the real deal. We put ourselves on the line and say, hey, anyone want to work on stuff? And we work on you and we get results. And why we bring this up is because when things are on the surface and things are in your awareness and you can start to actually confront them and look at them and be aware of them, that's when you can make the shift. When it's like it's said that when you get the dragon out of the cave, so you can then take it down. However, if you try to go in the cave, it's a little harder.
Yeah. I had that experience today with the client, Michael.
You did.
Where we had the most intense issue come up, and we were able to clear it so fast.
Yeah.
Faster than I've ever seen before, and it was literally 20 minutes before the full moon.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, what an amazing opportunity.
It's very interesting. Some of the easiest clearings that we do is when people are the most triggered and they're the deepest in it, right? Which is so cool because that's the opportunity. When we get triggered and when something comes up and someone pisses us off or whatever it might be, that's the biggest opportunity. And when you actually take care of it, it's not going to be the same moving forward. Right? So it's very exciting. And it's an interesting shift to look at the challenges as the opportunities. So today, there's a lot going on in the world. And in this season, there's a lot going on. Politically, there's a lot of tension with individuals, right? And this has brought up so many triggers for people. And so we're not here to pick any sides or to tell you who to vote for or who we choose or anything, but if you've seen and you're looking around, you can tell people are definitely very triggered, right?
Yes.
I believe you should get to the place where, sure, you can have preferences of what kind of policies and what kind of people you want, or if you don't believe in any of them, you know, I respect all of your opinions and your viewpoints, but at the end of the day, if we're super duper triggered and people are doing complete irrational things, there's something to deal with there. And so we have a bunch of tools and we share them with you. So stick for this broadcast. We'll do some clearings and we'll give you some tools. We're always dropping gold nuggets, how to make this stuff work. You know, Lois and I have a practice and we train practitioners in a few different modalities and methods, and we get real results, right? We have people that have never done any of this work before. We teach them and they're able to clear and take care of sexual dysfunctions. People with cancer that they thought were going to die actually live, right? And a whole host of different things. People who have allergies that clear them where it doesn't come back, which is just kind of insane. But this is what energy clearing is, because at the base of it, it's all energy. And we could go in such depth with this, and it's so interesting. So yeah, I mean, so what's going on in the world right now? What's in the collective? And I love talking with Lotus because she's such an expert at astrology, and it's always so dialed into the person of what's going on in their life and or with the collective. And so a lot of times we'll do live events and live clearing events, and we'll specifically look at the astrology chart just to get and see what's actually going on. And it's so interesting. This week we did a group call with a bunch of individuals in the Middle East, and we were having the workshop translated into Farsi. And one of the things that we were doing was Lotus was giving an astrology reading to the person one by one. We have all these people lined up. We got 30 or 50 people at this point in this group call. Okay, you're next. Okay, now the person comes up. Lotus reads their chart, finds the big thing, the big block, the big challenge they have in their life, and it always just gets them super triggered. It brings it up to the surface, and then I come on and then clear it, right? Or you help clear it too. And it's just always so spot on every single
Incredible.
time. And if someone doesn't seem like it's not spot on, it's because they have a major block to even confronting it. And then we find out as we do some more questioning, it's like the biggest thing ever.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a coachee of mine who really wanted Kamala to win, and which is fine. But then she sent an email to our organization.
Streaming live.
Okay, making sure it's playing. Good. And she sent an email to the organization, and she says, I want to quit going through this program because Trump won, and I'm going to leave the country. I'm going to move to Spain, and I'm so sick and tired of this. I'm like, well, we have nothing to do with any of that. Like, we didn't support anybody. Like, we didn't put anybody on blast. We didn't try to have influence you to pick any political candidate. And it was just so crazy and irrational. And if someone doesn't want help, you just let them do their thing. But so I've seen what's going on with people in the political landscape right now. I'm not sure if anyone who watches us is in that realm. And I see there's some people watching live. You can put in the chat, have you seen people acting irrational right now? And this, my question is, well, I would like to help them get to clear that, because at the base core of that irrationality of like a person saying, well, I'm just out of here, or I'm just going to quit this thing that has nothing to do with it, right? Or to not be able to handle, it's like no one's life changed. You had someone on TV or on a video, say that there's things changing, but what actually changed in your life, right? You can have preferences, of course, but the crazy irrational things at the core of that, because I've been a hypnotist, and so I really understand these trauma-based mind control methods, and they tap into your fears and your traumas that go back into your past lives, triggered in your DNA. And they're literally adding information into the trauma. You can call this the engram, or an energetic imprint, or a samskara. They literally get it activated. They get it in your field. They get the block going. And then they deposit in all the suggestions. And so if you find, and this is hard to acknowledge, it's easy for someone else to point another person that's triggered. It's really much more of a challenge for the person who's triggered to actually realize what's going on, because usually when you're triggered, you want to be triggered. Any thoughts on that?
Well, knowing what's happening astrologically, I can't really, it's just mind-boggling, the connection of what's happening out in the world. We literally had election day is the day that the sun went into the sign of the law, justice, relationships, balance, and creating beauty. And so that sounds really good, right? Like creating harmony, creating balance, creating justice, bringing our relationships into balance. Like all that sounds really wonderful. And then you look deeper into the chart, and you see that the planet, the energetic of leadership, aggression, and anger is in the sign of family. And so you get the hint that there could be some conflict between families. Okay. And you add in the planet that represents death, secrets, things that are buried, things that are hidden, the subconscious mind, where all the old stuff is stored, like the attics and the basements of our consciousness. And it's in direct contact to Mars.
Okay.
And
so let's so basically what you're seeing in the chart is what's happening.
Exactly. Conflict with families, deep stuff coming up around stuff in the family.
Yeah.
Hidden secrets. And then this could also be applied out in the world geopolitically, that this is a time where truth is being brought up to the surface, truth that's been suppressed in our government, truth that's been suppressed in our society, truth that's been blocking our freedom as a society is coming up to the surface in a huge way.
Yeah.
And what does the full moon do? It amplifies all of that.
Emotionally, because the moon represents emotion. Right. So, yeah, it's in the stars and it's happening now.
There is a silver lining, though, with this full moon, which is that what is happening may seem very intense and very deep, okay? But the planet that is ruling both the sun and moon, and look at the moon is with Uranus, okay? So what is Uranus? That green planet is the planet of change. It's the planet of unexpected happenings. It's the planet of lightning bolts of creativity, inspiration, instability, that things are changing. It's the radical new beginnings happening at this full moon. Huge change. And, you know, Michael, as a hypnotist, a healer, what happens when people confront change? Like, what does that generally bring up? How could you speak to that?
Well, most people have a major block to change. I mean, change is usually when something traumatic happens. And so it's tough. You know, it's said that the only people who like change are babies with dirty diapers.
Oh my.
Right? People don't like to change, you know? I mean, that's a big lesson for us. You know, what's your willingness to change and follow your mentor? For a lot of people, that's like the hardest thing in the world, right? Mm-hmm. And that's a big area we work on helping people clear if for those who are serious, because you have to be able to deal with change. But that's a major, major block for a lot of people, because all the times you've had changes, it's mostly been traumatic. Mm-hmm. So change equals trauma.
Right.
And in the subconscious mind, we have a saying, A equals A equals A.
Right.
Equals A, meaning everything in your trauma mind equals the trauma, which is why people get triggered by a lot of things that they're not aware of.
Mm. Yeah. When I tune into the collective, it's so interesting with the astrology aspects, because what I've noticed is they tend to either go to the positive side of it or really swing wide to the negative. And it's feeling like one side of our country is like celebrating the change, like super happy and like woohoo, and then the other side is not happy about it at all. It wasn't what they wanted. It wasn't what they voted for. And so there's this huge fear about the future. And it's with the planet of emotion, the moon. So emotional.
The fear is really amplified right now.
Of change, the fear of change, the fear of the future.
Yeah. Well, with that subject brought up, and we talk about clearing energy all the time, and that's our big thing. I would like to jump into doing a clearing just on that. I mean, whether you're on the Trump side or the other side or on no side, there's definitely a lot of energy and emotion on the surface going on. Whether you are really think you're affected or not, it's in the field. Right, and it's probably affecting everyone on some level, anyways. Especially when there's conflict in your families and so forth. And I feel like I can't talk about my, you know, if you feel like you can't share what you want to share, now you have a block with communications and all these things, and it's very stimulatory of a bunch of different things. And so this is something, if you want to follow along and clear, this is a really, really good thing to clear on, especially as everything is really amplified. We have a couple of people in the comments. April says, I don't participate in politics online, so my algorithm doesn't show me any of that. I think that's probably a wise thing. So that's fantastic. Maddie says that the dolphins have been out every day since the election, whatever that means, with a laugh emoji. Yeah.
Powerful.
Yeah. And Nick says, hey, Nick. All right. And April is saying, how's this full moon treating you without your beard? Some of you haven't seen me without a beard. Yeah, I shaved it off many months ago. My brother had a wedding, and my mom's always bugging me, why are you hiding your face behind that thing? And I was like, well, it's probably a good opportunity. I think it was. So, yeah. The politics going on, right? Yeah.
The emotions.
Yeah, the emotions.
The intense charge.
It's very deep.
One side against the other.
Yeah, exactly.
Division.
No matter what side you're on, there's a specific dimension. There's dimensions, right? Just like you have chakras, you have dimensions in your reality. And there's one dimension that specifically has to do with negative projections, negative thought projections onto you. And so whether you like it or not, there's studies, or not studies, but demonstrations of someone standing up on stage. They turn around, and then the audience will get a cue on either thinking good or thinking bad about the person where he or she is not aware of. And so as this person standing up on stage, they'll do a 1 or a 2 for feeling good or project bad at them. And every single time with muscle testing, you can muscle test the person. When the good energy is projected, they're nice and strong. When the bad energy is projected, they go weak without the person knowing. And so
Right.
There's a lot of effect going on, if people know who you voted for or whatever it might be, either way, one way or the other way. If you're projecting negative things on other people too, that can come back and get you, right?
I did a clearing and I checked my dimensions. I was feeling off.
Yep.
And most of them were fine. But when I got to the dimension that you're talking about,
yeah,
it was so heavy and dense and just like I could barely handle how dense it was. And I think this could be deeply affecting people out there. Just that feeling of all the thoughts circulating of other people, family members, friends, and then the whole society at large.
I'm just doing a clearing as you're talking about it. That's my pause. So everyone on live, we're doing clearance for you guys.
She said, we're only just beginning to realize how powerful we are, both personally and collectively. Absolutely.
Amen, Lisa. Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's do a clearing on this. So think about the politics, even though this is maybe not something you want to talk about or think about. It's happening, right? It's in the field. One of the big steps to actually going clearing yourself and feeling better is acknowledging what the heck is going on. Because the more you try to push it away, the more you try to put your head in the sand, the more which there's a choice of like change the channel of what you're listening to and things. But of course, but confront what's actually going on. You'll feel better. Okay. So. So imagine if there was a dimension in your imagination or your energy or your going to heaven, right? These are dimensions that go out within your field. And if there was a dimension, specifically the 7th dimension, where there would be negative thought from other people, negative emotions, and this could be way out of politics, by the way, even if you do well, and someone your family, you think your family is wishing you well, but really it shows them what they really are. And so can you feel into a place of where people may be affecting you emotionally or energetically? Can you feel into that? Okay? And I want you to imagine that you connect to Source at the same time, whether it's a stream of light down from the heavens, or you tap into the core of your heart, and or both, and you step into this realm of where there are negative thought projections, negative thought, negative emotions, negative intentions. You could say spells cast by people, people swearing at you and things like that, and bring the light in and imagine that this whole dimension that you can picture, see, hear, feel, imagine, just fills up with light completely. And then I'm going to have you do a physical exercise with this as you focus on it. And I want you to squeeze your head as you exhale, and this is a toxin release. Okay, so you're going to squeeze and do this 5 times total. Focus on possible and negative thought projections, and just a few ounces of pressure. And notice if you feel a little bit lighter after doing that. It's an incredible exercise with that head squeeze thing. We use it a lot to clear the chakras out and to get the chakras to spin right and clear out dense negative energy. We also helped you with one earlier today, right? With actually a physical toxin, right? And Lotus has an amazing story of healing and saving a dog's life using that technique.
Right. Yeah. He'd eaten poisonous mushrooms and had come home with convulsions, and we had to clear him I cleared him through clearing her over the phone.
Right.
Using that and tapping all of the points is absolutely incredibly powerful.
It is. So just like you can clear through the phone, I mean, we can clear just by feeling you tuning in live.
Mm-hmm.
And so on this topic of negative thought projections and politics and things, I invite you to rub the sore spot, which is the neurolymphatic stimulation, moving your lymphatic fluid. And I want you to just acknowledge how you actually feel and just relax with it. So even though I feel hate from somebody, it's okay. I love and accept myself. Which you can say those words or really just allow yourself to be okay with it. Even though this is going on, I'm going to be okay.
I'm hearing something.
What do you hear?
So even though we're all feeling the collective angst, the collective upset, the collective uproar or anger or hate of so many people, depression. Michael, you shared with me earlier that there's more people suicidal right now after the election, a higher number.
That's true. Suicide hotline numbers are on an all-time high right now.
And that's so scary to think that this could cause that. And so anywhere, even though we're feeling such an intensity of emotional reaction in the collective field, and we're feeling this shockwave through humanity,
it's all in divine order.
And accept ourselves.
Yeah. That's also a good perspective to have here. As you rub the sore spot, even though this is happening, it's all in divine order. It's all happening perfectly to plan. Whether you're whatever's happening in your realm, whether you prefer what's going on or not, we know that every bad situation leads to something good.
Right.
You can check back into your life and you go through your history and you're going to know that's the case. And once you do the clearings, you get to a place where, oh my God, I'm so happy, thankful, and grateful that I was physically abused and battered and made fun of, because now I made better decisions and I improved myself and I feel so much better, and now I can help other people. Or whatever it might be, right?
And I have more compassion.
Yeah.
I care more for others.
Good. So, okay. So if you feel any more emotion, let's do a few other exercises, shall we? Right? You guys like to do tapping. We do diagnostic tapping, tuning into the field and finding the exact points for you to tap on. Okay, tap your collarbone. Allow yourself to relax, release, let the emotions go. Tap the back of the hand. Why are we so affected? If we did not have a trigger that is, or a situation, a trauma, and feeling bad because of what someone else does, that means we still have something. It's not about them. It's if they trigger something within us and we don't have compassion, understanding, and love, there's something there. Trust us. That's just the fact. But if a person can be however they want to be, and they can be a psycho crazy person, and you're just like, man, I hope they get help. Man, I really wish the best for them. And you're actually coming from compassion no matter what they do, you freaking got it.
Right.
Tap your collarbone again. I want to keep with that mood. I want to make sure we get this. Deep breath in and out. There you go. So that's actually a very good algorithm for releasing pain. We did collarbone, back of the hand, collarbone, whether emotional or physical. And it's painful to see other people go through things or to project negativity towards you, right? How are we doing?
I think we're doing good.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do something real quick for everyone.
Sure.
So
yeah.
everyone to focus on any negative ball of energy that you may feel in your body, you may feel in the collective. You can either join me or just receive. And so I'm going to just rub my hands together and I'm going to visualize any excess dark energy because I feel the moon acting like a magnet, pulling stuff up and out. And so as I tune into the collective, I kind of see this big ball of kind of like dark, dense energy that everyone's kind of sensing the feeling as it comes up to be cleared out of the collective completely. And so I just want to invite everyone to tune into this with me because we're all one. We're all connected to the field. And so tune into where you're feeling that density. And rub your hands together and take a deep breath in and out. And by the power of God, and by the power of Source, and by the power of the Creator of all that is, it is commanded any density, any darkness, any absorbed negative emotion, negative thoughts, negative energy being transmitted out into the collective. We ask for that to be released and cleared into the light.
Just try to be careful with your microphone. It's moving a little bit.
Apologies.
Yep.
Yeah. Released and cleared into the light. Everyone take a deep breath in and out. And just seeing, perceiving, and sensing your hands like a magnet, pulling and drawing any density, any darkness, any old energies, anything absorbed, anything that does not belong to you, up and out of your field, like smoke, like fog, like mist, out of the earth, out of the collective, out of humanity. By the power of God, by the power of Source, by the power of the Creator of all that is, we command anything that no longer serves us in the highest and best. Allowed to release for all directions. Time and space. Deep breath in and out, everyone, wherever you are. So shake out your hands, brush over the top of your head, and you may notice you feel some lightness coming in, some brightness, and you start to clear any density that may be around you or near you, passing through you.
Very good. I like how you integrate the rubbing of the hands as it stimulates all the reflexology points and really allows you to move the energy and transmute it in a different way.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah. Good. Well, if any of you follow along, please do let us know what's going on out there, and please let us know your emotions. We want to know how you feel and what you're going through, so we can actually tune into you and actually give you some of it as well. We have Jason says UFO trials. Yeah, that could be something, right?
I have something on that.
You do?
Astrologically.
Okay, what do we have for UFOs in the astrology? Jason, you called it.
Yeah, this is pretty amazing. So Saturn, which is the planet of government and the planet of structure and the planet of the rules and the law, is at the very top of the chart if you zoom in on it. And it is in Aquarius, which is the sign of the new age. It's the sign of UFOs. It's the sign of weird, unusual technologies and inventions. And it went direct today. So it had been retrograde since June 29th, which means dealing with things from the past related to government and the new age technologies. And so pretty remarkable that this week that they're starting to have full disclosure out in the news media that Saturn, the sign of government, the sign of law, is in the sign of the new age, full disclosure, the sign of UFOs, technology, innovation, and it went direct, which means moving forwards, new information coming through.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Nick says he's feeling lighter. I was feeling the emotion, anger, and hate, and now feeling compassion and light. Fantastic, Nick. Thank you. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking to do. Yeah, it's amazing to actually stop and realize that you can change how you feel. You don't have to stay angry. You don't have to stay depressed. You don't have to stay in confusion. You don't have to stay in depression. You can do some of the things we do with you guys, and you can transmute it. You can get through it, especially if you learn the tools. Which, by the way, I should mention that next week, Monday, we're doing a 5-day masterclass for you guys. And so we highly encourage you to join us, as Lotus and I are going to be with you 5 days in a row from 6 p.m. to for a couple hours every day. And we're going to go through and we're going to show you some of these techniques that we do. And we're going to show you the most fundamental, most usable, biggest release techniques first. And then we compound and we add to it through 5 days. We're going to show you some of the techniques we do, some of the things that you can do on your own. And it becomes more advanced and you're able to clear more and more as you continue on. Karlo says he's looking forward to next week. Yeah, we look forward to having you there with us, brother. Yeah, so highly consider, just go to energyclearingmastery.com. You get to sign up for free. And if you can't make any of the days, we will send out the recordings that you can view for the next few days or a week after that. But this is the master key to all clearings. We're going to be showing you the secret method. And hopefully this is the right slide. This is not the right slide. This is the slide. This is the secret method. The ICU method. This is how you can transmute energy when you get the ability to identify. Just like today, we pulled up the astrology chart. We're identifying what's actually going on. We're confronting. We're pulling it up. We're getting into the emotion. We're becoming aware of it. That's the first step, right? Second is to actually clear it. And we're going to give you the tools to clear. And then to really transmute and create a shift is that you need to pick the positive emotion. You're blessed. And actually get the opposite positive emotion to the negative that you've been feeling, and it cancels it out. And that is when you have a miraculous shift, when you get those two opposing forces. And we're going to teach you, bless you, Lotus. We're going to teach you how to do this with a very simple procedure that is profound. And I've never taught this before. And so I know a lot of you guys have been on some of the 5-day trainings we've done. This is something we have not gone into. We're going to use some of the same techniques, but this is the level of mastery, which is why we call this energy clearing mastery, because it's all about mastering the basics to a level that is unimaginable, right? I was just going through a David Hawkins book called Letting It Go. And this is a man who became self-enlightened with a profoundly easy method. And this utilizes that type of approach in technology with a couple extra tools that make it easier. Because sometimes it's not so easy to just to feel the emotion and allow it to bubble out and be in meditation, which is fantastic and phenomenal. But when you have a few different tools like the tapping procedures or the nervous system synchronization points or some different prayers you can say or clearing in certain dimensions so you can identify it further and specifically, having some of those tools is very helpful, as we noticed.
Absolutely.
And, yeah.
It's life-changing.
Yeah, so join us.
Karlo said that he's starting to identify energies more and more. That's so wonderful to hear. That's so huge, isn't it?
Right, it is, yeah. Yep. See, it's all about these basics. This is the secret. But it's taking the identify to a level that's ridiculous where it's almost like you become psychic.
Right.
And all these, these other three, and you go deep on these. And so, Karlo, fantastic that you're identifying your energies more and more. And Karlo's not new to our live stream and to our workshops. He's been with us before. And so the more that you continue to work with this and work on yourself and use some technologies and techniques that really resonate with you. Maybe, we have a bunch that we know works really well. You may find others that you love, but you're going to find it becomes easier and easier for you to become aware. And it's funny because a lot of people want to become psychic. They want to be able to read minds and, see images and all these things. And you know what one of the easiest ways to start is? Clear yourself. Clear your stuff.
It's true.
Yeah. If you're able to clear the gunk that you have within you, all of a sudden now you're open to new energies that come from outside. Now you're transmitting brain and you're broadcasting and receiving brain and heart and gut is now more easily felt, where everyone has these abilities. Someone has different people have different types of abilities and different levels and things, but yeah. Karlo says, I've been psychic for years and this is next level. Yeah, so it just keeps going up, as Lotus and I have been experiencing.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't know it could be more than it was growing up as a child and being tuned in, but what it feels like is the more we clear, the more I clear, the more space there is to feel and perceive. And so the more the awareness grows, and thus the information we can experience or feel or perceive grows. And one of the amazing things I've watched with you develop, Michael, as you've cleared more and more, is your sense of being able to smell.
Yeah, which is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wednesday on the call, we're working with a bunch of people, and there was this mother and daughter who were on there, and I could smell their perfume. It was so strong. And they were trying to deny it, but then they ended up changing their clothes because it was affecting their clearing. Because sometimes you can have a toxin that prevents your corrections. And so I was just smelling it. The mom changed. It was still there. And so the daughter changed, and then it finally went away. But yeah, you can supernaturally sense, I don't know, feel the emotion that the other person's feeling, hear what they're thinking, smell what's going on. I mean, I can smell and sense when someone like maybe has they have a lot of density, almost like a fungus or something. I can sense and smell them, and then I'll actually go see them somewhere, like at a conference or something, and then like, this is the same smell I was sensing. It's weird.
It is. It's like it has a physical expression, even though it's so energetic, right? The denser energies are the more physically you can almost touch them. Right?
That's a good point. Yeah. Yeah, we talk about releasing the mass and releasing the charge. The more dense it is, the you can pick up on it. It's interesting, right? Yeah. Yeah. So, what do we talk about now? There's so many things. We can go into so many different areas. How about So this is the full moon, and I love your astrology readings because it's so spot on. So with what's going on in the astrology, what are some of the things, like in the next week and a half, this next moon cycle, should we be looking forward to, or can we take advantage of? Is there anything there?
Yes. Yeah, I got really, because I was just seeing kind of the challenging stuff all last week. I was like, Pluto and deep intensity and buried things coming up to the surface and the need to clear our deep emotions. So I was like, okay, it's really important because there's so many planets in water, which are emotion, deep emotion, that it's really important that we clear our energy because we're going to be feeling our emotions more strongly than normal right now. Okay. So I was looking
Yeah.
into that, and then I came across the magic. Okay.
The magic of what?
The magic of this full moon, the
Okay.
hidden magic of what this full moon is really all about. And I got excited. So when I want to dive deeper with the astrology, I will look for the planet that rules the sun and the moon. Well, guess what?
What's
That
that?
planet is ruling both the sun and both the moon and Uranus right now. Well, what's that planet?
What's that planet?
Well, the planet is Venus. And Venus, if you've studied us or followed us, is a really magical planet. It's the planet of the billionaire. It's the goddess. It's the planet of love. It's the planet of all good things. It's the planet of making lots of money. Okay, so she's ruling both the sun and the moon tonight at this full moon.
Okay.
Sun in Libra, moon in Taurus. And so she's in the sign of freedom. She's in Sagittarius, which is the sign of freedom. It's the sign of truth. It's the sign of travel. Okay, and so in our hearts, we are feeling called to free ourselves, to get liberated, to get free, to travel farther, to expand. And so the image I had, it was like of a rocket ship taking off. Like the desire of the collective, like at the core, is for this expansion into the unknown, this expansion into what true freedom is for us individually, true freedom collectively, and true freedom monetarily, because Venus is money. It's abundance, it's prosperity. And so people are desiring, and there are opportunities right now available for us to create real freedom, especially with money. Like,
So freedom with money, and you're saying that this is like a collective thing.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So collectively for most people, what does this look like?
Yeah. Well, we're not going to be satisfied with anything that's trying to hold us down or like keep us contained. We're going to be wanting to break free. We're going to be feeling the desire to break free of jobs, of situations, locations, communities, anything that's holding us back. We're going to be feeling like,
what if we do a clearing on this?
Yeah.
I think this is great for everybody. Don't you want to break free from your job, from your limitations, you right? You'd rather be doing what you love to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, here we are Friday night. Mark Hamilton, he has amazing success material. He talks about your Friday night essence. What would you do on Friday night if you could and make a living with it? And here we are today. Something just happened? You okay?
Yeah. Okay.
So here we are on our Friday night essence. And so let's do a clearing on breaking. What was it? Maybe not breaking. Is that the... Yeah, break it.
Yeah, breaking free. Being free. Liberated.
Being
Freedom.
liberated. So as these energies are more conducive to the globe, let's increase it with your intention. So we invite you to focus on what it would feel like to actually break free from your job, your limitations, whatever it might be, right? Especially financially, right? Yes? Yeah.
Yes.
So breaking free financially. So what does that feel like? Do you notice a block, or do you notice that you could increase the positive emotion and really be real with yourself? It's all about that identify, right? Being aware, just like Karlo has been practicing. He says he's been doing the sore spot daily, even at work, which is fantastic. It's one of the best, easiest things you can do. Okay? Okay. So think about breaking free. and what it would be like and feel like to actually break free and start to make that progression. It's not going from I've never made money on my own to having $1 million business. It's I found an idea. I found something I'm excited about. What would the next step where it becomes possible? How would that feel? And I encourage you to tap on your collarbone as you focus and think on that. And stay on the collarbone and focus on breaking free. You can do it. You can always do it. Okay, then tap on the back of the hand. Breaking free. Stay on the back of the hand. Think about breaking free. Think about some of the next steps. Focus on what it would feel like if you got the idea, the direction. And the things that were constricting you starting to loosen and break off. And the possibility, the light at the end of the tunnel is coming in. Tap on your collarbone again. Interesting, it's the same algorithm. And most of you are going to stay on the positive feeling of what it would be like to break free. Do the head squeeze, exhale twice. Focus on breaking free. Okay? Focus on breaking free and imagine that your light, your God cord as we call it, your connection to source is strong, vibrant, and streaming without any blocks. And as you focus on that, tap your collarbone. Focusing on breaking free, connected to God, almost as if you had direct connection with God and communication with this feeling of breaking free and communicating with Him, or him or her or it, with your desire, how you truly want to live. What if you had that connection? How would that feel? It's okay if you don't feel it completely, but imagine what it would feel like. Keep tapping the collarbone. Keep going. Tune into it. Allow yourself to feel it. Connection to God, connection to source, breaking free. Because if you get this part free and clear, it'll give you every step along the way and everything, right? Lotus, you feeling that? Good? Yeah. Head squeeze, exhale 4 times. Connected to God, breaking free. I don't feel tears on my body, but I can feel other people having them. Mm-hmm. There's a really powerful release and healing that's happening right now.
Lisa talks about feeling fear in the solar plexus.
Fear in the solar plexus. Great. Okay, fear in the solar plexus. Notice if you have fear about breaking free. So this starts to re-stimulate. So now as you start to be clear of one thing, it can start to re-stimulate fears. Because maybe in the past you did try to break free, or you did start breaking free, and you did have something, and then you got taken out for it or traumatized for it. And there's a lot of past life stuff that has to do with this in very different ways for all of you. And so notice if there's a fear of breaking free, and feel it. Tune into it.
Oof! I'm seeing chains, like just like people feeling chained.
Yep. Tap your collarbone with this. Okay.
It was real heavy, like hard to move.
Yeah, so I want you to focus on your throat chakra. Tap the back of your hand. Notice this fear, throat chakra, back of the hand. Okay. Now, in a new unit of time, do the sore spot and acknowledge how you feel when you tune into this. Think about actually breaking free.
May I say some things?
Yeah. So even though I feel what, I still love and accept myself. You can say that to yourself. Acknowledge what you feel. Lotus, what do you got?
Even though I feel myself and perhaps others out there feeling this weight of captivity, this weight of feeling like a slave to something I don't even know what it is, I love and accept myself. Even though it feels heavy, like a weight, like a burden that I don't know how to let go of or get off of me,
Yep.
I love and accept myself.
Good. Notice how you feel, focusing on breaking free. If there's any fear there on a scale of 1 to 10, how strong is it?
That's strong.
Tap your inside eyebrow. Maybe right at the beginning of the eyebrow there. Those of you who might be new. Tap on the back of your hand. The fear of breaking free.
Can I tell you an image I'm seeing?
Okay, what do you see?
I see being free and running and then getting caught.
Yep, good. Collarbone. Notice if you have any emotions or thoughts or images. Head squeeze, exhale once. Okay, good. All right, deep breath in and out. Notice if your ability to feel breaking free is stronger and any fears have been lessened. Of course, if you have big things that come up, feel free to reach out to us. We always can get you into a session scheduled into the future and help you work on these things and work with you one-on-one, which is really where it's at.
Yeah.
But, man, we have a lot of people who've been on these live broadcasts or in the workshops and had massive wins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One of our biggest money wins was actually on a free workshop. When a woman cleared her block to God with her business, which is why it's important to clear that. You can have some of the biggest breakthroughs having the connection to God with whatever you're working on. I mean, that in itself is a transformation.
May I do a kind of final clearing on this?
Okay. Yep.
Really tuning into the collective here. So I just want to invite everyone to join me if you'd like. And tune into if there's any extra energy around fear of breaking free, anything left in the way of you feeling free and free to fly, free to break free, and put it into your hand. Woo, thinking about breaking free, breaking free, breaking free, being free, being totally free. Yeah. To put that anything in the way of you being free into your hand. Deep breath in and out. And by the power of God, by the power of source, by the power of the creator, all that is, we just command that anything in the way of you breaking free be allowed to release and clear. And it's release and clear on the core, on the genetic, on the soul level.
Yep, just tune into Lotus as she is tuning into the oneness field and doing a clearing for you guys. So just listen, tune in, follow along.
Hold and resolve on the historical level. So we're releasing and clearing this on the core, which is in your gut, in your belly, it's in your abdomen. Then we're releasing it on the genetic level, which is stored in the middle of the brain. And then we're releasing and clearing it on the soul level, which is in the heart. And we're asking it to be pulled and resolved on the historical level, which is the back of the neck. You can just see that old trauma releasing and clearing. I'm getting really hot. And anything and everything in the way of this, we just ask for a complete change history, and everything is needed. Deep breath, everyone. In and out, and just shake it out. Woo! All those blocks to truth and freedom and being free finally. And as you release it, just see pure golden light of freedom flowing, showering you all across the planet and the globe with that pure, unconditional love and light through your spiritual body, through your God cord, and through your physical body. Whew. Being free, celebrating freedom, expansion, and beautiful things. Abundance, wealth, gold coins pouring in. How about that? Diamonds, opportunity.
Yeah. Thoughts are things. Energy is real. Every thought is a seed that can grow into a thing, into something. And so the more we feed it, the bigger it gets, the more pull it has, the more situations, circumstances, events, and people that correlate with that image and feeling. Holy cow. Amazing. Thank you. Julie says, it's great to see you two working together again. Absolutely. Yeah.
Hi, Julie.
It's definitely magic here. Yep. Lisa says, thank you so much. So powerful. Yes. Thank you for watching with us and taking advantage of this. Goodness. Yeah. Very powerful.
Woo. And it's amplified, right? That lunar light's like this magnet. So it's just illuminating and pulling up everything. You can just send it on up to the moon.
Yeah. There's a guy who I learned from, who is a Taoist master and has amazing abilities with chi energy. And he talks about how, hey, you can utilize the moon as it's been taught for thousands of years in Taoism. And you can go up, look at the moon, and just give the moon your stuff, And it's simply just thinking and imagining it. You go look at the moon, or even if you're inside the house, if you can imagine it too. Just imagine right now, all the stuff you have, all the energy, the stuck, the darkness, the negative energy, blah. Just imagine you just give it to the moon.
Let it be alchemized. In
fact, do the head squeeze on exhale twice, giving all your gunk and stuff to the moon. And just see it, feel it, just right off your body, right up. Let it take it. It's trying to. What's that?
I'm seeing the stars acting as like a star flame, and the star fire is transmuting it all.
Okay. Go ahead and rub your sore spots and relax into the feeling of the moon taking all your gunk. It's okay that the moon takes my negativity. It's okay that the moon takes my gunk. It's okay. Thank you. And sit there for a moment with that feeling, because you're dissipating energy as you're doing that. Yeah, just sit there with it. It's a little different for Lisa, as she's on the other side of the world. But it's still there.
I'm getting so hot right now. Like just incredible heat.
Yeah. Just sit and allow it to dissipate. Thank you, moon. Just let it take it. You could probably sit there and just do that for a while, actually. I can feel. You as in us. Yeah. And if you sit there long enough doing this, it will be a perpetual action for you to allow, from now and into the future, the many more minutes and hours that go on, this dissipation to continue. I allow the moon to take all my gunk. Thank you. I allow myself to let this stuff go. It's okay, I don't need it anymore. Doesn't that feel good?
Oh my God.
It's very relaxing.
Such a relief to just let go.
Yeah. I feel a lot of quietness in the minds. One of the reasons why I'm a night owl. Once everyone goes to bed, all of a sudden it's like a big relief. It's like 10 o'clock comes and like I turn back on. Like, wow. Yeah, powerful. Did you know you could just sit there and do that and release a lot of energy and actually change how you feel?
Right.
Super cool. Yeah, a lot of people don't know the moon actually, if we look at the moon right here, we'll get this picture. The moon actually emits a cold light. That's the light of the moon is colder than its shadow. And I have a laser temperature device and I've measured this myself because I saw it on video and I was like, come on, this can't be real. But I saw people do it. I was like, I got to try this. I'm very curious now, right? And so I got one of the laser temperature readers. There was a piece of plywood sitting next to one of our buildings out here. And so the moon's been shining on the wall, and it's the same wall, and then it has a board there too. And so I got the temperature of the wall. I forget the numbers, but I remember the difference. So say that the temperature of the wall was 60 degrees. And then I pulled out the board and I got the temperature of the shadow, and the shadow was like 66 degrees. So the shadow was warmer than the light shining down from the moon. I did this as well on the side of my RV, because I was also thinking like, well, maybe that's because the wind is protecting it. Maybe that's why the temperature might be different. But I had on the side of my RV one wall, and the moon was being blocked by a building, and so it wasn't getting onto the side of the RV. And so I measured both of them, and it was like an 8 degree difference. The shadow was warmer 8 degrees than the light from the moon. That's crazy.
Remember when you showed this to me?
Yeah, and I showed you actually saw this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were there. Yeah, so that opens up a lot of questions. Yeah. So there's something going on with the moon that they haven't been telling us and that we probably don't know about, and it has different effects than we're aware of. So good for you guys being with us and getting some of these clearings, because holy cow, what can that change for you? Yeah.
I always feel such a profound opportunity with the full moon that it allows us to access, because of the power of the magnetism and perhaps of the light, it pulls things up to the surface that wouldn't normally be visible, including emotions, cognitions, ideas, feelings, past memories.
Right.
And so I've been noticing over the years, probably one of the most powerful times to become aware of what's coming up.
Yeah.
And then use these techniques to clear.
Yeah.
And the moon will be pretty big all of the next week. So it'll still be a really great time to clear stuff out on a really big collective level. Yep.
And so it's a wise thing. If you guys ever consider doing a session with myself or Lotus, here's a little trick. Schedule it near the full moon.
Yeah.
Especially leading up to it. Right? You can still get it a little bit afterwards and things, but after that point, then you start breaking down. That's when you start to let go of more things. And you can, any day is really good, but schedule it just before the full moon if you want to take advantage of our work. That's a little key point there.
And I've had this amazing synchronicity happen where every time someone schedules near the full moon and I do their chart reading, it's exactly lined up to the full moon. Like they have some major thing.
Interesting.
That's exactly like it's the same sign as the moon, it's the same sign as the sun, and it lines their chart like it's the most activated time of the whole year for them. And they're like, I need a session.
Yeah. People knew it naturally because that's just how they feel. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Los is fixing the...
You can see the lines on my hands. Got a lot of lines. That'll work.
Fixing the focus. There you go. All right. So anything else we want to go over? Yeah. So basically, so we also want to let you guys know we're doing a 5-day event that's coming up Where's my slide? We gotta. Here we go. Yes. This is the master key to all clearings that we're going to be doing on Monday, 6 o'clock Pacific Daylight Time, 6 o'clock or 9 o'clock Eastern, from November 18th to the 22nd. I know you guys are going to freaking love it, because we're going to give you guys experiences. We're going to share with you the techniques we use, and you're going to have you're going to be able to walk away with a working method that you can use on your own. So just like Karlo was saying how he does sore spot every day, well, we're going to give you basically a whole system that you can use anytime you feel bad, that works so well for you to get through addictions, fears, anger, depression. You can even use it to release spiritual abilities and things. That's why we call it the master key to all clearings, because you can use it for just about everything. We've had people use this for sports. There's a time when people go into slumps in sports, and you can actually correct the reversals, correct the blocks, and actually perform better. It's something that's great to do when you wake up in the morning. And you do this process. It'll take maybe a minute or two to go through. You repeat it a few times, and it will just turn your normal day, or maybe start to be triggered day, into a great clear day. It's phenomenal. And what we're giving away and what we're teaching with you guys is really we should be charging like $1,000 for at least.
Yeah.
But we want to make sure that people have access to this. And of course, at the end, we'll have a special class that we're going to continue working with people. But this is the foundation. Even if people do go through our master class, I still need them to go through this, because these are the beginning steps that are fundamental and foundational.
Wow.
Right?
Karlo just shared in the chat that he just made some money with a client while listening to this live.
Yeah. Yeah.
Way to go, Karlo.
That's fantastic. See, that's what happens when you stick with it. Karlo's doing it every day, and guess what? He tunes into us, and you get some more clearings that get a little more specific and go a little deeper. Bam, he manifests more money. On the call, live. I had that too. I had a clearing call, and with a full-out maxed Google Meets room. We had 100 people there, and I'm talking through a translator, similar to what we did the other day. And people wanted to work on money blocks. We had 2 people all of a sudden had unexpected money come in. And it's funny because we won't even work on money, and people have those manifestations.
Yeah.
This is magical, let me tell you.
Michael, there's something really special that you helped the client with over the last year.
What was that?
And I was wondering if you would share with them one of the applications of this work that I find really incredible.
Okay.
Which is that you actually worked with a woman who was pregnant.
Oh.
To prepare for her delivery.
Oh my God. Probably one of the most amazing things ever. I'm really glad you asked that. Yeah. So we have a friend who decided to actually do a home birth. And we know that home births aren't easy for a lot of different reasons. First off, the system does not want you to do it. Friends and family will talk against it because they have so much fear, which will plant in ideas and suggestions into the mother and to the family. And things can actually go wrong too. There's a reality of it as well. And so she and her husband did sessions, and we did a package of either 10 or 20. So we worked pretty extensively while she was pregnant. And it was really one of the best things she ever could have done, because she started off where she wasn't feeling so great about it, and she had a lot of fears, which is why she signed up to do the sessions, because she really had an issue going on, especially with them wanting to do a home birth and want to stay natural, and they don't like what the hospitals do. And I fully support that, because it's kind of ridiculous what they do. And so I worked with her extensively to the point where she got to like some of her last sessions and she's like, I don't even know what else to work on now. All my fears I had are completely gone. We worked on a lot of elements in the DNA. We worked a lot on her own birth, because birth is one of the first traumas you have in this life, besides what happens prenatally. And then there's stuff past life. But there's a difference between a certain block being active in your field that's not restimulated yet, and something that's happened in this life that is activated. And so we cleared that, and it was amazingly helpful for her. And we cleared things in the DNA and things and so forth. And what was the end result was, and I can't take total credit for this because, they did their own thing and they did great and they stayed healthy and they did the right things. But she had a very quick and easy birth where the baby was born healthy and they were very happy. And it was really miraculous. And so
they sent us pictures, and I remember
they sent us pictures,
that this baby looked like one of the most peaceful Buddha babies I've ever seen. Just like so zen. Right.
Because there were things that we did when we did clearings. You ever hear about the baby not being in the right position? Or maybe the baby is a little restless or uncomfortable. Imagine what might be happening in the mother's energy that might be causing that. Because anytime you feel irritated, your energy's off, right? Anytime you have any kind of like health issue or something, there's usually your meridians and there's a block there and there's some kind of emotional issue that's connected to it all. And so as we started doing this while she was pregnant, she noticed the baby would relax. And like she could just feel how the baby would just be at ease, right? And so that was amazing. So the birth came out great. They had a great time. Everything went well. Now, then the baby was born. About a month or so afterwards, they called up to do a session again. And the baby wasn't sleeping for very long and kind of fussy and things. And so we worked on that. And one of the things we did was I helped clear her in her womb that had a block in it, actually the lower dantian area, which is very closely associated with the womb. And she had a release, and all of a sudden we could all feel that all of a sudden, like the protective energy field that goes around the mom and the mother was all contracted and condensed. And once it was released, it became physical and there again, which was a big shift. And every time we had these releases, which by the way, I did them all for her because she was nursing the baby with the camera off. So I didn't even see her. I could just hear her and had her focus. And every time the baby would like yawn, relax, and like go in ease, every time we had these big releases. And then we approached the subject of the baby not sleeping well or long. And so as I tuned into the baby, I noticed that there was a big mass of energy. I can feel it. It's hard to describe, but we can feel these things when someone has like a really big, massive energy. It's almost like this urge you like need to yawn, and like this thickness. And so the baby had this, and that was interesting because I'm like, wow, it's just a little baby, and like this is a lot of stuff right here right now. And so I started doing the clearing for the baby on being able to sleep, and I saw in my mind's eye, I see the baby sneezing. And she's like, well, yeah, the baby sneezed a little bit, recently, not on the call though. And so I see the baby sneezing. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. And so I finished the release, and it was a collarbone breathing in her upper the baby's his upper dantian, which is the brain field, to sleep. Once I did it completely and I got it down, all of a sudden the baby sneezed, relaxed, and I believe the baby fell asleep in that moment. And I had a huge release too, as I'm tuned into all this and doing the release for them. And then, of course, we got the message, a day later that the baby finally slept 8 hours.
Oh my gosh.
And now that's amazing. And I love it. But the most amazing thing is that had the baby or the person not have these releases, what ends up happening is it's like you have a river of energy flowing, and then a log falls And what happens after that? Debris gets caught into it. Another thing gets caught into it. Another thing gets caught into it. Now you got this big, massive beaver dam thing that's being built over time. Right?
That's the moon we're in.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. This is the beaver moon. Yeah, that's right. And so this is what happens if you don't clear an issue and then you try to fight it and you'll just have the baby take medicine and all this other stuff and you don't actually deal with what's going on, right? Whether you pray to God or you get an acupuncture thing, you can do, there's so many things you can do. We have methods that we believe is very fast and easy and effective. And over time, it gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, which is why you can see when some people, when they get older, as they get older, they don't become happier. They don't become healthier. In fact, it becomes drastically the opposite, unfortunately. And this is when you don't deal with things. This is when you're not identifying and allowing and clearing. Right? And so to get the blocks early on is one of the most amazing things you could ever do for your child, especially newborns and pregnant mothers. Because this is where a lot of the charge starts. And I could show you, and I don't have the picture available. I might actually. Of when you have blocks and they stack on top of each other and what it looks like over time. I thought I put this in this presentation, but maybe not. Yeah, I'm not sure. But basically you can picture an upside down pyramid and you have one block at the bottom and then you have another few that stem off of that. And then more few that stem off of those. And then more groups stem off of those. And over time, you end up with this massive upside down pyramid of blocks that continue to compound on your time track. And the more you don't deal with it, the more each block becomes like a bigger onion. Another layer gets added on. Then you get traumatized again. You get pissed off with the relationship and it doesn't become resolved. You get into another car crash. You have another loss with your finances. And it gets bigger and bigger. Or they get bigger and bigger. Now you have all these engrams, these blocks, these samskaras, these energetic imprints. And they all keep getting bigger and bigger over time until you're walking around like, oh, everything hurts. And so to get this early on paves the way. Big time.
What a gift.
So keep doing it. Even if you don't work with us and take our master classes, that's up to you. At least do the simple stuff every freaking day. Many times a day when you start. What else are you going to do? Pray to God. Meditate. I don't know. Get some kind of practice. Because if you don't deal with it, it gets worse over time.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to stop myself from crying because I'm just thinking about people who just like, they never get this. They never hear about it, right? I remember when I was younger and I found self-hypnosis and started doing it. I'm just like, why does nobody know any stuff like this? And people are going to therapists and just getting worse. Talk about your problems and it just gets worse. You grow the energetic blocks over time as you talk about it and you re-engage it without actually letting it go, right? My gosh. But I know you guys that are watching and listening, you're doing something about it. And I really commend you guys. So we got a huge opportunity here. This is the real deal. We're freaking doing it. We see massive results all the time on a regular basis. And it's just not the norm. You know? Can we make this the norm a little bit more? The only way we can do that is pass this on to you guys. It only works if we're passing it on to people, right? And helping you guys get this. And so consider joining us on my PowerPoint presentation, which is not what I meant to have on the screen there. There it is. Let's put the big one. Yeah. November 18th, starting at 6. Go to energyclearingmastery.com. Maybe we can put that link into the chat somewhere. EnergyClearingMastery.com. Right on that page, just register. You go on to a Zoom registration page after that, and you're in. That's all you need to do. And we look forward to working with you guys, because then we can see you one-on-one a little bit and talk with you. Go ahead.
EnergyClearingMastery.com.
EnergyClearingMastery.com.
There it is.
www.
And Eric shared, this is wonderful. He said,
What's he say?
Tapping practices are so right on. Looking forward to the masterclass.
Awesome. Thank you, Eric. We appreciate that. Yeah, they are freaking super spot on. I don't know anyone else who does it like this. You know, even the source of the information. You know, there's a lot of great people out there, but I don't see anybody doing it the way we're doing it, and actually showing it to you and giving you really big hints that you can just hop onto a 5-day class like this for free, when I paid a crazy amount of money to learn this.
Well, you've put together so many different things, and I've been with you and been watching you go through up-team training, different modalities to create kind of a mastery level here. That's really, in terms of identifying and clearing the biggest stuff. You can use this. I mean, your story, you know, what you were able to do with this newborn baby is probably one of the most incredible things I've ever heard.
Oh my goodness. After we did that, this was like a couple months ago, and I'm just like, I could just do this. If there was a focus, you know, this would probably have the most profound effect long term.
Mm-hmm.
And very gratifying.
Absolutely.
And something that I think parents can easily understand, and something maybe to take action on, to purchase a group of sessions to work on those areas. Because whenever you work on clearing in your family, you actually change the DNA.
That's true.
Right? I did a bunch of money clearings for myself, and then I noticed my brother and my dad are all of a sudden making more money than they ever had in their life.
Right.
I'm like, I didn't say anything to him. It's just happening, right? Yeah, we see this a lot.
I talked to one of your clients the other day, and he said that his family, like his cousins and brothers, were starting to increase their income like crazy after doing this clearing work on himself.
Yeah. We have a money clearing workshop that we do on a regular basis for a group of people, and man, it's working.
Absolutely.
It's really amazing.
Lisa shared something really beautiful in the chat. She was responding to your story about working to help this beautiful baby get to be delivered so perfectly. She said, beautiful story. I can imagine the baby's gorgeous little peaceful face.
Yeah. That's a good way to describe it.
Amazing.
Yeah, Lisa, thank you for the comments, Lisa. I appreciate it. And she says, I'm so grateful to have found you and your techniques, Michael, and so good to find Lotus now as well. They are so effective, and feeling wonderful every day is so cool. Yeah. It's all about feeling good, improve your vibration, right? One of our main mentors who has a very extensive success mastery program, Kevin Trudeau, one of his main methods on how you can manifest better in your life is just simply feeling good. But my question is, how deep can you master that? Feeling good no matter what happens, right? And hey, not every moment you may not feel spectacular, but it's interesting though, because when you're not triggered, you can feel good about feeling bad, right? It's almost like a game or like a character you're playing, where it feels good to be angry, or it feels good to, like, you know, stick up for yourself or something, where like you're not attached, but at the same time you get to use the emotion.
Right.
It's interesting.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, I've heard that we come from the soul realm into this physical body because we want to experience the wide variety of emotions. We're here for it.
Yeah.
And so if we let go of all the gunk, we can just kind of feel and experience without the attachment.
Can you feel good going down the hill on the roller coaster?
Woo!
Meaning, when your life is falling apart and everything's going wrong, and you don't know how the relationship's going to work out, or how the money's going to come through, or what's going to happen with your health, and you can go, "Wow, this is a crazy ride," and release all attachment. Maybe that you just mastered life. I don't know.
Right? Sounds like a good plan. To be at cause.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
I have to share that, with the energy work that I do, and then including the tapping and especially the tender spot.
Tender spot. Take the tender spot home, guys.
Take this home,
Yeah.
because I have been able to use this standing in line. Like if I feel irritated, I'm like, oh, I don't want to stand. I'm like, okay, even though I don't want to stand in line right now, I completely love and accept myself. Or if I'm waiting and I'm feeling impatient, completely love and accept myself. I mean, there's so many applications that you can help yourself feel better.
Yeah.
Right away, just by acknowledging, identifying, right? First step, just being with what is there. Like you did with the full moon, letting go, right? You're just feeling it.
Yeah. You literally can just use that. If you're not sure about what other tapping things to do, you forget about where it is, just do that and just allow yourself to feel it, relax into it. I have a great little training I put out where using that sore spot is very similar to Harry Potter when they fall into the devil's snare. And if you haven't watched Harry Potter, maybe you're not sure about that image, but basically they fall into a pit, and Hermione is basically like, this is devil's snare. You just have to relax to get through. And so she relaxed, she falls through. She escaped. And then Harry says, and she yells up to Harry, or just relax and you'll fall through, right? And then Harry relaxes, he falls through. And then Ron Weasley can't relax. He's squirming even more, and he gets stuck. And then they have to blast a thing of light from their magic wands, and then he finally falls through. And it's very similar to that. Any negative emotion we're going through, if you're resisting it, it will persist. But if you can this is a good thing to add to it. You don't even need to do the sore spot, but this really helps it a lot. It helps correct the reversal.
Right.
It's okay.
Contraction.
It's okay. And you're going to be burning through and letting off the charge, and the layers will maybe slowly dissipate if you're not doing an advanced technique. Still, you're in the right direction. And you continually go down the layers, and you have had sessions where you just did that for an extended period of time.
Hours.
And and they come off on the other side feeling amazing.
They do. And it's a different quality of release, because I've given them permission to literally feel every feeling about the issue and cry or get angry, and it's gone. There's no other room for the emotion to be, because it's all been felt.
Yeah. So join us on Monday. We're going to show you a method like that, but we're going to add in the 3 components so you get the neutralization. And we're going to lead you guys through how to neutralize. This is where the magic is. When you have the 2, it's like homeopathy. You have the vibration of the germ, gone, eliminated, transmuted, completely different state of mind. And that's just going to be one of the days, and then we do other things. So,
Absolutely.
I think we shared the link in the description. If not, reach out and ask around. But yeah, I think that's it for tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed our broadcast.
Woo!
Please comment, share, like, all that good stuff.
And we wish you the most beautiful full moon energy release, activation, celebration, magical step forward into freedom and abundance. And so excited to see you all soon.
Very great. See you guys later. Good night.
Fills you up, taste the stress, feel the power, feel the breeze in this